Wait, the Naval Port is back? Nobody saw this coming. I logged into the test server today and found it's online as Naval Port Mutation. Memories came rushing back. I had to check it out. Entering the game, I felt so nostalgic. Last time I streamed at the construction site was 4 years ago in Season 2, during Naval Port Storm. The map looks both familiar and strange. The graphics are sharper, but my memory's fuzzy. The port is still small, and the admin building still looks abstract, but I wonder if our old friend Silly Fish is still hanging out there. Recalling my streamer days, this naval port brings back memories. Let's see if my old spots still work. I already hear heavy footsteps, likely a real player. I'll set this last trap and head to my old spot to lock him down.
Call it tea.
I can only say that even though my memory's a bit fuzzy, the streamer still has a good grasp of the map. Even though it's already 2026 now, this scene can't help but remind me of the summer of 2022. A lot of you probably don't know this, but when the naval base first launched, it was actually during a test server in 2022. Back then, the Dark Zone still had those super scannable indoor black holes. Inside, you couldn't see anyone at all. Once you get outside, here come the zombies. Zombies everywhere. I don't know why, but all the original patrol bots at this construction site have turned into zombies. But looking on the bright side, the spots we used 3 years ago still work just fine. This jump right here really takes me back to the construction site 3 years ago. Back then, when Dark Zone Breakout S1 had just launched, I came up with a bunch of weird and random spots. Now, what looks like a pretty ordinary jump reminds me of those days 3 years ago. Back then, I had just started out as a Dark Zone streamer and content creator. My profile picture was even a dog at that time. The quality of my videos wasn't great either, and even though I wasn't that good at the game, I was always playing with friends. We still had a lot of fun playing together. After grabbing the real loot and wandering around for a bit, I stumbled upon a little cutie who had gotten lost. I checked the area, and it seemed like he didn't have any teammates around, so he probably ran out from the restaurant's back alley. But honestly, I was really curious. Was he a new player who wasn't familiar with the map, or an old player who had just forgotten how to play at the naval port? After taking out the real player, I got ready to go look for my old friend Silly Fish. All the scenery I pass by looks almost exactly the same as it did 3 years ago. The only difference is, there used to be 4 of us running down this road, but now I'm the only one left moving forward. On my right is the department store we all know so well. I vaguely remember that. Back in the test server, there were still people fighting on top of the department store. The whole corridor was blocked off, and I still remember the little convenience store on the left. There were always campers hiding there. Back then, streamers really liked playing Genshin Impact. Honestly, seeing all this now, I can't help but think of that line. I want to buy Osmanthus wine and share it with an old friend, but who knows when we'll meet again. When I saw that red door, my first reaction was that I didn't bring the key, but as I got closer, I realized turns out you don't need a key for this place anymore, because a lot of the keys for the naval port were removed in an update. I still vaguely remember playing with friends, and when we got to this door, everyone was asking who brought the key. In the end, we realized none of us had it, and we awkwardly approached this tank, spotting that very familiar sign of destruction. There are just too many rats now. Back in the day, I used to play the naval port every day, all for Delvin's level 5 armor and that A1K he carries. The trickiest part about Delvin actually isn't him, it's his signaling device. Now, he can easily call in a whole bunch of underlings to back him up. It's really easy to expose your own position outside, but when you're outside, you can't see inside, because inside is like a black hole. Back then, the AI enemies were seriously overpowered. They'd headshot you out of nowhere or just kill you instantly. Back in those days, I used to hide in this tent, shivering, but this time, I chose to stash my gear here.
Go in and take one out first. You guys are making a lot of noise. Wait for the right moment, then go in and take a look.
Then, as soon as I got to the entrance, I saw that all too familiar tripwire mine. I bet a lot of folks who were just starting out at the military port back then got tricked by it. And I still remember there used to be potato mines at the military port. If you walked over them, they'd blow you up instantly, sometimes even taking out your whole squad. Then I realized, hey, there seems to be someone on the second floor. That second floor is just as weird as ever. Super easy to defend and almost impossible to attack. The only way up is the outside staircase, and if you try to go up, you're basically asking to get shot. Honestly, the map design back then really did have some issues. So as soon as we got up the stairs, we found ourselves in that classic 3-story layout. Honestly, whoever came up with this map design back in the day must have had a twisted sense of humor. Only people who've attacked old Naval Port will know what I'm talking about. Calling the staircase hard to attack is an understatement. It's basically impossible to take. Just as I peeked around, I spotted an enemy soldier, so I quickly tossed a grenade and pulled back. If I remember correctly, there used to be a safe here back in the day, and Delvin would always guard it. There were even times when this hallway was filled with trip mines, and Delvin would trap you in the small room, but you probably won't see that anymore. On our side, we're darting in and out, peeking like crazy, but the enemy isn't exposing themselves at all. We're not in a rush though, just listening carefully. He's already made it up to the 3rd floor, and this spot is another heavy hitter. Still, even though this is a key position, it holds some memories for streamers. For example, the safe next to the pool table, some streamers have even pulled off a lion play in there. Here, the enemy is locking down the stairs, so there's no way for us to get up. Peeking left is a huge disadvantage, so all we can do is throw a flashbang and see if we can force them back. The enemy fell back, so there's really nothing we can do. They ran off right away, and we can't get a shot at them from here. We try a right side boost, but going through the doorway is a big disadvantage, so we toss a grenade to see if we can bait them out. Yeah, if we can't bait them out, we'll just keep throwing flashbangs like before.
My dentures broke. I'm getting them replaced. Throwing a stun grenade.
I'm under attack. Now you guys understand why there are so many rats at the naval base. Even in this new version, with flashbangs being such a powerful tool, the naval base is still insanely hard to play, let alone in the old version before flashbangs got buffed. All I can say is it's pure hell difficulty. And then there's our naval base's signature indoor black holes. I just tried aiming and realized you can't see anyone at all. The indoor black holes when scanning are back again. There's really nothing you can do.
Yep.
Imagine old players sticking it out in such crappy conditions. Here's your hardcore indoor experience. Can't see a thing, just indoor black holes, right? Exactly what we dreamed of. Honestly, I really didn't expect that when they brought back this naval base. They'd also bring back the indoor black holes and the outdoor overexposure along with it. This really cracked me up. The streamer guessed rats were inside, but couldn't clear them out since those indoor black holes blocked everything. The only option was the T7 thermal imaging. In the old version, this device was the best way to handle indoor black holes. Without it, you are helpless. Then, jumping down and breaking my leg, I suddenly saw the sound signature. Knowing where the enemy was, we pushed straight over. They flashed us. I'll throw a grenade to force them out. We're not ready to push, so I'll heal first. I stunned myself with my own grenade, though. Since we know where they are, don't carry the T7 or you'll get blasted. Let's check the map, find a corner to heal, then attack. Just heal up and use a stun to suppress them. I noticed the guy is hiding in that little room inside. I'm way too familiar with situations like this. Back at the military port, there were countless campers hiding in those small rooms. I really know this scenario well. So let's just peek and fake some movement to bait out their general position. Once we confirm their location, we just need to throw a stun grenade, since the space inside is big enough for us to do that easily. The city of Who is currently under a heavy attack from all sides. An epic counterkill, 666. Another war god is jumping in. This isn't the Dark Zone from back in the day. Back then, those war gods in the Dark Zone were seriously fierce. I probably would have died. But now, he's just not up to it anymore. 666, there are still some pros out there. Then suddenly, some idiot just rushed in and basically gave himself away. And don't ask why he didn't shoot at me. The reason is actually pretty simple. The moment you enter a building, you can't see anything. That's a hardcore feature, unique to the old version of Dark Zone Breakout, overexposure, and pitch black interiors. All I can say is enjoy it while it lasts. Before we extract, let's take one last look at the military port. Even though everyone keeps reminiscing about the military port and the director of the mine's efforts, I admit, it does hold some fond memories for certain task force members, so now, as the host, I want to ask you all a question. Do you think the military port is a good map? Do you think it's a bad map? Personally, I think it's neither good nor bad, so why are there so many people online reminiscing about it? Why do so many people online like it? Honestly, after playing the military port map again this time, we realized that while it definitely has its own unique features, its flaws are also pretty obvious. But then, why were players back then still so eager to play this game over and over? At this point, a lot of people would say, oh, it's because things were more hardcore back then, that's why I stuck with it, and that's why I played. But actually, after revisiting the old map, we found that all that hardcore stuff didn't really improve our gameplay experience. In fact, it didn't mean anything at all. So why do players still think the old version was better and the new version is worse? Why do they still feel that being hardcore is better and that making things lighter is a bad thing? I actually think they're kinda right. In a way, they're not wrong. Instead of arguing about whether being hardcore is better or if making things lighter has made the Dark Zone worse, maybe we should just admit a simple truth. When people look back on their deepest memories, they tend to hold on to the good parts and selectively forget the painful ones. The Naval Base map, which holds so many memories for veteran players, really does have a lot of flaws. In earlier versions, extracting from it was extremely difficult. There were rats everywhere and disguises were as common as dirt. Back then, a lot of players were honestly suffering, but also having fun at the same time. But they still stuck with this game. I think it wasn't really those so-called difficulties or the random hardcore elements that made players enjoy it. Instead, it was our childhood selves, the ones who were brave enough to take on challenges and open to new things, that made this map so captivating. Honestly, what we loved wasn't really those old settings that seem so bizarre to us now. What we really loved was just our former, better selves and the childhood that's already gone.